Hi, and welcome to Jim's Radio Shop. I'm continuing to work on this Fleetwood record player you see here. And if you've watched the previous videos, you know that this is a somewhat mysterious problem with the mechanism inside here. So first thing I'm going to do, since it's been sitting here for a day, I'm going to give it a try and you'll see what it does and doesn't do. And I don't think I even have to put a record on it. Don't have much faith that it's going to work. So, okay, it's plugged in. A little quick safety check. Everything looks good. Power on. No, it's already turning. Speed seems a little bit better. Still looks a touch slow to me. And you can hear that, well, I can hear it. I'm not sure if you can. Yeah, I'm going to show you what that is. And that's kind of the essence of the problem, is right where that click is coming from. So nothing has changed. So much for operating it. Let's take a look here. Now I found when I tipped it up, I think this way, that gave me a pretty good view into the mechanism. It's not a bad view on camera either. Yeah, I should be using the camera more. So, wait a minute, I forgot to do something here. Let's have this back. Let's pull this guy off. Once again, what we're interested in this thing right here. That's what you hear as the bladder turns around. And this piece comes around and it engages or bumps into this piece. So my understanding of how these work, and you know, I'm not the world's greatest expert on any of this stuff, is that as the tone arm travels in, at some point this piece moves out far enough that it can be struck by this piece, and then that engages the mechanism to pick the arm up and return it back. So when the tone arm gets this far over, it should be affecting that. Now the last thing I noticed too, and I'm noticing it again, is that this tone arm's not free to move at all. It's trapped in some way. I even put a record on. I think one of the earlier videos you can see a record, and the record can't pull the tone arm forward. It just skips on one groove. So okay, those things might have something to do with each other. That's about all the hints I have to go on here. So let's take a look again. There we go. Yeah, my concern here is that the unit has actually been damaged. This is my guess. It's been damaged. Either it something stuck in the wrong way, and then somebody turned the platter maybe in backwards, and you have a lot of mechanical leverage when you're turning the platter with your hand. That centerpiece is in this piece here. This thing here. It has a lot of power. And you could quickly damage anything that's not ready. So, move this arm. Try to spot what's going on. And of course, if it's damaged, I'm never going to solve what's happening here. So I can see that there's a arm sticking out very similar to the tone arm underneath here. And that arm has a pin, and the pin is engaged in a slot on another arm. And as you swing the tone arm, the two arms, because they're linked together, the tone arm transfers motion to the other arm. Where's that other arm going? Why is it? That's where the stickiness is coming from too. Or some of the stickiness anyway. Maybe the tone arm bushings just need a little oil to loosen it up. But I'm curious about this other arm here. And you know, it's just so hidden from view. I see another curious looking mechanism there. Wow. Now often these things are just suffering from basically lubricant glue, from the lubricant turning into glue. Especially anywhere you have flat plates traveling across each other. That seems to be a place where the dimensions are just such that a little bit of stickiness goes a long way to freezing the parts up. So now that's swinging. Let's see. This is swinging it into position to trigger the tone arm pickup. Right there. So all this should be free because this is where it's traveling over the record. You know what I think has happened here? No, that's not gonna. No, forget what I was thinking. You know, this kind of monkey business can go on for a long time, so feel free to skip ahead in the video. Well, let's look at loosening up the tone arm. I see a bushing right here. Not anxious to put lubricant on too much of this. But obviously there's a shaft going down through this fitting, and I think right in here or in that shaft is where we're getting a little bit of friction. So what we'll do is we'll put in some little release awl here. See if it'll release it. A little messy. I don't spray my camera. Set it down here so gravity will cause some of that to. No, it's still the same. That certainly didn't cause any dramatic improvement. Okay, let's take a different tact. This is the drive wheel for the mechanism. And under certain circumstances, this wheel is pushed into contact with the motor, and then it begins to drive the mechanism. It's not driving much of anything right now. Okay, power off. Put it into so that was the start. I think that should have moved this wheel into contact. I'm pretty sure I remember moving this guy here. Moves this wheel. You know what? I don't think there's any doubt that this has taken some kind of abuse. This part right here, it moves in a funny way. It's bent in a funny angle. It doesn't really look engineered at all. There we are. See, now it's moving the. So what happens is this piece is falling low and getting caught up in other fixed metal structures, if you like. It pushes back, it pushes the wheel away. And when it comes forward, it brings the wheel into contact. But look at it. See how it. Yeah. So I think this is meant to be one of these pieces of metal that's incredibly loose, just kind of hanging in here, and so it takes nothing to move it. And this thing is bent, I believe. It's been bent up under here, and I believe the result of that is it's no longer free to move properly. And then that may have been compounded by having it caught in the wrong position, struck by the platter, let's call it the platter trigger. And at that point, you got more than one thing bent out of shape in here. I hate to say it, but I really think a bigger disassembly is required here. Not something I want to do. Maybe there's a partial thing I can do here. Okay, I'm going to stop for a moment. I'm afraid I forgot to go answer their door. Stay tuned.